What's going on, world? Coming at you guys again. We got another quick video. Life sentences. Let's talk about it. So, if you haven't heard by now, the case of the murder of Julio Fulio and the defendants whom are waiting to be given their sentences is up in the air. And the overwhelming belief or consensus is that it's either going to be execution or life in prison without the possibility of parole because it's in Florida. The thing that I really want you guys to understand and recognize is here in America, we have the 8th Amendment, which prohibits the implementation of cruel and unusual punishment. Now, America was founded upon the principles of the Bible, the teachings of Jesus Christ. The actions of an individual that are done while a child, remember, the brain does not fully develop until about 25 to 30 to 35 years of age, depending on your race or ethnicity or DNA makeup. We know white people or Caucasian individuals have telomeres that are shorter when they are born in comparison to people of color who have longer telomeres when they are born, which means that white people or Caucasian people on average, their brains develop faster because the telomeres are shorter, which means they don't have as long as a duration for development in comparison to a person of color who has longer telomeres, which means that they would have a longer life cycle, which means that they would have a longer capacity for their brain to fully develop, specifically the prefrontal cortex. Now, the prefrontal cortex doesn't start developing on average until 3 years of age, and it goes all the way up to mid-30s, depending on the ethnic or genetic makeup of the individual. And this doesn't include physical trauma, emotional trauma, psychological trauma, or the consumption of recreational substances, whether through inhalation, ingestion through the mouth, or transition, which comes through the skin. The application of giving an individual a life sentence to where they will be incarcerated for the rest of their lives, in supporting this narrative based off of the understanding that this individual is a young male who is of physical capacity and they need the sweat equity in correlation to the Bible for taking another person's life is the definition of cruel and unusual punishment. When Cain killed Abel, God did not sentence Cain to die. He did not incarcerate Cain for the rest of his days. We are a nation founded upon the beliefs of Catholicism, of Christianity, of the King James Bible, of the Old Testament and New Testament. Whatever you want to pick or choose, it does not change nor deviate from the narrative of what God's actions were. So there is not a human being on this planet in which has greater power, greater authority than God himself. And if God himself did not execute or incarcerate Cain for killing Abel for a life sentence, there is absolutely zero justification for sentencing an individual who is a child, whose brain has not even fully developed, to execution or life imprisonment. This is the definition of cruel and unusual punishment here in America, and it must stop.